telephone, it doesn't have a camera. If it did, I'd take a picture of myself. If it did, I'd take a picture of the water and the man on the off-ramp holding up the sign that's asking me for help. I got a job and I work here for the summer. I fold the towels and set them by the pool. Everyone seems happy with each other till they step away to say the thing they really meant. They always sound so cruel. I didn't know what I was in for when I signed up for that run. There's no way I'm curing cancer, but I'll sweat it out. I feel so proud now for all the good I've done.
Look at that compound. Look at that professional compound, Katie. I love it.
My compound, my little lair.
Artistic layer of creativity.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Katie, what a joy to have you. I have to tell you, I've been doing this for a long time. Since 2005, I started. And once in a while, it's rare. You see a performance of songs, of lyrics that are so beautiful and so well crafted that actually they only take hold of you like weeks after you see them. It's like, it's almost like, I'll give you an example. Songs like Without Her or True. We saw you perform them at the Basement and they are haunting on record. And we had heard them on record before, but live, they just seep into your soul.
Oh.
And you know what? I don't take it for granted. It's such a beautiful art that you're creating here, Katie.
Thank you so much, Jamie. That is so kind. Yeah, the live show is really special to me. And, I've learned to love the recording process, but that's newer to me since moving to Nashville and finding producers that I love and people where that's their real craft. But for me, the songwriting process and performing just with a guitar to another person is like the bread and butter for me. So that's really special to hear. Thank you for saying that.
No, for sure. But your songs also, Katie, they're really, everyone talks about putting your feelings on your sleeve, on the paper, but your songs are like next level. When you're performing them, because these are songs that are deeply connected to your experiences and you're putting them out to the world. Is it hard? I mean, is it sometimes hard or is it at this point, like you kind of got it out of your system in the writing and now it's like just performance?
Yeah, that's a great question. Sometimes I think I only find performing them hard if I'm in a season where I feel like I really have to self-protect. So if I'm feeling really self-conscious or like I have a wall up and I'm kind of putting on a face for people, then I find it hard to connect because it's scary to go there.
Yeah.
But if I'm feeling connected to myself and I'm feeling grounded and I'm feeling safe, there's nothing like more freeing to me than to just be really raw and honest, because it's a very, I don't think I talk about anything that any other person doesn't also feel. I don't feel unique, I guess is what I'm saying. I like to write about things that I'm feeling very deeply, but every time I perform them or share even just the thoughts with another person, I find it's a very like raw human thing that everyone's experiencing. They might talk about it in different ways, but it's very like connective tissue type material.
Right.
So to me, it's kind of like, it feels very liberating to just be able to be honest, and even with the dark stuff, because I find a lot of connection in doing that.
Exactly. You hit a lot of interesting points there. And one of the things, connection, but you're also giving. That's what I was thinking, because
Mm.
I was thinking, okay, what is it so special about Katie? Because like I was trying to put my finger on it, and you give. Some people give back with money, some people give back with time, others give back other ways. But the secret to living is giving. And with songs like Without Her or Bags, you're giving because you're giving courage, you're giving hope, you're giving empathy. When did you realize like that your music can give this to your audience? Because I feel like that's what you do.
Oh, wow. That's also very nice. I'm not really sure if I've ever really thought about it like that, but I think that I probably noticed that there was something like significant about trying to pursue songwriting or trying to perform more for myself when I was like 14, 15, kind of in high school. I was starting to perform more with like my high school choir and a cappella groups and things like that. And not that external validation is the place where I got all the confidence, but being kind of a shyer person and a little bit more self-conscious just in general, having people come up to you and say like, I really felt that. Like when you sang that, I really felt I was there with you. Those are the first, like that was the age where that first started to happen in a way where I was receptive to it, where I said, oh, you really did. Okay, maybe I've got something here that connects me to other people, that opens up more conversation, where I can walk around and really feel comfortable in who I am because I kind of threw it all out there and people received it well. So that gave me a lot of confidence around like early teenage years.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If you're a teenager and you already find that you have something that you can give and give connect, and you also connect that way, like that's it. That's your purpose.
Totally. Exactly. Yeah. It's so important for young people, especially in that like weird, awkward puberty age, to just find something where people look at you and they're like, hey, you're good at that. Even if you're not the best, whatever that means. But finding some sort of creative outlet where you can feel really connected to like your bones and also feel like you're contributing something of value, even if it's not like tangible necessarily.
Yeah. Oh my God, so powerful. I mean, like now you're getting me thinking, like people really will do anything for connection. Like that's a basic human need.
Totally.
Tapping to that like so early, like magic. That's it. It's magic. Awesome.
I like to think about it that way too.
Yeah, awesome, Katie. Okay, I want to ask you about your background in just a hot second, but let me stay without her. Sorry, for a second.
Yeah.
You performed her at the basement. I like the saying that if you get in your head, you're dead, right? Like the importance of getting out. Like that's where like all the problems happen right here. Gotta get out of here.
Absolutely.
So how are you now dealing with the voice in your head? Because you've been very open about this.
Yeah.
And we all have this. I mean, we all have it, and it kind of never goes away, but you're aware of it. What is your like the Katie 2021 version? How is she dealing with that voice in her head?
Well, I'm a big, if you can find the access, I'm a big therapy advocate. So for me, therapy has been really important. And not just like talk therapy, but finding different things that work for you. So like for me, yoga is a big therapy because it puts you out of your head and back into your body, and also in a way that like marries the two. So like with meditation and doing meditation with yoga, it reminds you to befriend your brain again and not like let it drive, the bus necessarily, but it's not an enemy. Your brain is just trying to protect you. Your brain is just trying to like come up with stories to latch onto. So it's not necessarily a villain, but if you let your thoughts mean something, you can get into a dark spot. So for me, it's trying to find ways to like stay physically active, make sure that I have a really good support system that I can open up to. And honestly, like ever since I was a kid, writing has been so therapeutic to me and continues to be. So that's not necessarily writing songs or making art out of it. It's kind of like brain dumping. So finding a journal, or you can do it on your computer, whatever. I sometimes will talk out loud into my like voice memos. If I don't even have the energy to like sit down and write something, I'll just turn on my voice memos and just vent. So that's kind of, I think, purging and then turning off the need to solve the problems and just go do something with your body, even if that's playing guitar, taking a walk, whatever, has been really helpful for my brain pains.
Super powerful. I mean, what you said there, and for my audience, what Katie just said there, and this is what Katie's such a special, forget talent, soul, is because what she's saying is, I found some like a pattern that was happening, and through these outlets, I am interrupting the pattern. And I'm changing the
Right.
meaning. I'm changing the meaning of what I used to give power to, and we can all do that. And that's what Katie did, and that's why this is such a powerful thing you're saying.
Yes, and it's an ongoing process, like you don't I think I had to let go of the idea of getting better, or the idea of getting great with this stuff, and it's just a process. You just have to take every day as it comes, and some days are going to be really hard and you're going to look back and be like, that was a shit day, and other days are going to be a little bit easier and you'll be like, I'm cured.
Yeah.
But you just got to do it one day at a time.
Amazing, Katie. Well, when you win your, Grammys and all that, you got to write a book. You got to do a seminar. The Katie Ruvane, like weekend, unleash your inner soul seminar.
That'd be adorable.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay. Let me ask you about a story that you've talked a lot, and I apologize, but my audience will find it interesting, and that is like that period of your life where you were so determined, like 2017, 2016, where you were like just skyrocketed. And, like when you were raising funds for the debut album, for The Lines, for example,
yes,
you drove yourself from Florida to Maine, playing house shows, like doing the grinding. Like, tell me a little bit about this part of your career, of your life, and like your drive, your hunger, your grit.
Yeah, man, just like thinking about it, like makes me like feel like tingly and light, because that was such an exciting time for me. And, I'm like we were saying before, I'm definitely somebody who gets stuck in my head a lot. So the execution for me is a struggle sometimes. And so that season of my life, I look back on with like so much joy and gratitude for myself that I was able to execute. And it was kind of this proof that I needed, and I still lean on today, being like, yeah, I can accomplish a lot if I just start moving my feet and picking up the phone and executing the things that I think about. But yeah, I had just graduated college. And my friend Zach Hughes, who was a stranger at the time, reached out to me right as I was graduating at the end of 2017. And he said, hey, I really like the music that you're making. You're friends with some people that I've produced things with. Would you like to work together? And he was the first producer that reached out to me ever. And I got coffee with him, and I just trusted him immediately. And so having somebody in my corner for the recording process gave me so much confidence that I could go out and execute all of the other things that I knew I had to do on my own. So like the tour, the house shows, a lot of the fundraising. But it was really scary. I had to pick up the phone or like go on Facebook and reach out to people I hadn't spoken to in years, just kind of hoping that they might throw like $5 my way, or like pre-order a CD or something. And that's really scary. I'm not a salesman. So I had to really put on a hard hat with that, and say, you know what, I am doing something of value. This is going to help other people. I am good at this. And the people that, the people that don't reach out, we're maybe never going to get on board. But I want to give an opportunity for the people who really believe in me to show it and support me and kind of open that door. So that was a really scary season of just trying a lot of stuff that I just never thought I was capable of doing, especially, selling myself, selling my art in a really direct way was freaky. But then, the execution of the tour, I was just alone in my car. I had a really crappy PV amp that's like for a keyboard, and I was plugging my guitar into it, and a terrible microphone, and just going to people's backyards and basements, and a lot of friends of family, and people were really, really supportive, and showed up in droves and in a way I really wasn't expecting. And we funded the whole record off of mostly the house shows. And it was an incredible experience. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah, yeah. Well, spectacular. That certainty you had, and where there's a will, there's a way, for sure, Katie. And
Yes.
yeah, and you mentioned seasons, right? Earlier, and after you recorded this, you went through a really great season. I mean, we have fall, spring where it's beautiful, but of course we have winter where things are a little harder. Even summer can be hard because you think you're gonna do things and you move a little slow. It's a little hot.
Totally.
So you had a great season where you got critically acclaimed after this. I mean, Billboard loved you, Spotify loved you. Your songs were playing in Starbucks around the country,
Yes.
basically. But then, of course, you had a season of winter after this, a little bit.
Yes, definitely.
How was that slowdown for you after such a whirlwind period? Like, how was that transition?
It was informative. I think that that's how I look back on it now. At the time going through it, it was very confusing. And, when you feel any sort of momentum and then that momentum starts to slow, especially when it's the first time that you've had things kind of going your way, there is that fear, like, I missed it. I missed the boat. I don't know if I'm going to get this kind of momentum again, or I don't know what to do now. And especially for me, that first record was the best of what I'd written up to that point my entire life. So you've put out all those songs and then you start looking around and you're like, oh, can I write anymore? Like, what if that was a fluke? What if that was just young, energy, and I got it all out and now I have to go be an accountant or something? Like, I don't know. And so a lot of those questions kind of started spinning in my mind when things started to slow down a little bit. And yeah, it was really hard. I also realized that the momentum that I had wasn't because someone else came in and started spinning all of this magic around what I was doing. It was because I hunkered down and pushed myself really hard. And that's not sustainable all the time. There's going to be seasons where you're cranking and then seasons where you're resting and like rehabbing. And I wasn't ready for that yet. I wanted to keep cranking because it feels good. But I had to learn that like rehabbing and restoring and resting is a part of the process too, even if it's not as like enjoyable during it.
Totally. Oh my God, it's so well said. And I don't think that goes away. Billy Joel said recently, a couple months ago, that when he sits down in the piano to write a new song, he sees the keys like a shark with teeth. So yeah, it's like, it's every time you release something and you start something creatively, that seems to be the pattern.
I love that visual.
Yeah. So, I mean, Katie, you've been so good with your time. Thank you. And I know you're going to play a song for us, which we're really excited about. But let me ask you about the holidays.
Yeah.
Because when the holidays, how were the holidays for you in New Jersey growing up? Was family important to you? How was music? Just like, take me to, Hanukkah, Christmas. Take me to this.
Yes. Yes. So we're a Christmas bunch, and definitely big family vibes. I lived in New Jersey up until I was 18. There was a brief stint when I was super young where we lived in Ohio, but it's been mostly New Jersey. My whole extended family was there too. So Christmas was always like all of the cousins, all the aunts and uncles together. We do that for Thanksgiving as well. We're kind of like the big holiday people, but especially when we were young. And we do the big Christmas trees. And I come from a pretty musical family. So a lot of piano ballads, a lot of 4-part harmonies on the Christmas songs. It used to make me really embarrassed actually when I was a kid, because my aunts my dad's sisters are really incredible singers, including my dad, and his father, my papa, was a really incredible jazz piano player.
Wow.
Did like everything by ear and was just a really musical, interesting man. So he would sit there at the piano and then they'd pass out sheet music and we'd have to like sing and I don't read music and I never did. So I would just be staring at it like, okay, just trying to like sing by ear with everything. But it's really fun. My family is really fun around the holidays and just all the time. We're very close.
Good. That's a good anchor as you move forward in your career, to have the
Definitely.
family and all that. That's everything. Well, Katie, thank you so much. You've said so much interesting stuff. I could talk to you for 17 hours. So
I would
know.
love to eventually one day.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, like, what are you gonna play for us? That's what an honor.
Yeah, I wanted to play without her because that show that I met you at last month was really special and very full circle for me. I had played with Dylan Hardigan, who I had opened for in November. My last show I played with him before the pandemic. So
That's right. You did mention that. That's
it
crazy.
was, yeah, so it was really like, it was like a bookend I really needed.
Yeah.
So when he
totally.
reached out, I was like, wow, this is really great. This is gonna make me feel awesome. And it did. But this song always makes me feel connected to humanity. So but I'm gonna drink a little bit of water so I don't die. Hydrate, friends. It's good for your body. Okay. Can you hear that all right?
Yeah.
This is without her.
Would you do a favor for me? I haven't left my apartment all week. Told you that I might need to see a doctor or maybe a shrink. And I've called a few, but could you call some too? Got anxious and pulled off of Faith Avenue. And to tell you the truth, there's a very loud voice in my head all the time. She's telling me I'll never get out alive. There's a very loud voice, it sounds too much like mine. She's telling me I'll never know what it's like to live without her. Try to take a run just to see if I'd catch myself with my own feet. Don't know what to trust, but maybe these neurons are misfiring. And if I could just breathe and get better sleep, I wouldn't cry in my car at the end of my street. I want to believe, but there's a very loud voice in my head all the time. She's telling me I'll never get out alive. There's a very loud voice, it sounds too much like mine. She's telling me I'll never know what it's like to live without her. To live without her. Wanna live without her. Tell me to believe it, but I don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. To live without her. Tell me to believe it, but I don't know who I'm supposed to believe in. To live without her. Tell me to believe it, but I don't know what I'm who I'm supposed to believe in, to live without her. I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna make it, oh, and live without her. Or I'm gonna fake it, I'm gonna fake it, oh, I'm gonna live without her.
Katie, my chills have chills. I am done. The day is
Shame.
downhill from here. Unbelievable.
Oh no, keep it going up.
Thank
Keep
you
it.
so much, Katie. What an honor. What
Thank
a
you
treat.
so much. You're so lovely to talk to, so kind, and you were so kind at that show, and I really appreciate it. It was really nice to meet you, but thank you for
Absolutely.
having me.
Absolutely. Until we meet again, Katie. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Have a
Bye.
good day.